I'm talking a little bit about uh war. Why are we at war? Will war ever end? You start one war, start another war. Um, and you know what's so interesting is how they have systematically got away with getting rid of all of our leaders that could have got us out of this hole we in. Didn't even give them a chance to even put a dent. They got rid of them real quick. And you notice you have not seen any more leaders since Martin Luther King Jr., I think. Malcolm X. They was the major ones, but it was many others. Like Fred Hampton. And see, our problem is we didn't look at it as being at war. We did not get ourselves ready for this fight. And see, the problem with a lot of us, that get a lot of us killed, is that we are surrounded by ignorant ass people. And that gets you in bad shape real fast. Uh, just like Fred Hampton. He's one that I say should have never been killed. Because he was in an organization, but see what this organization, we didn't have an organization that was ready to be an organization. They had good intentions. They had real smart people. They had brave people. They had people that was ready to lay down their life. But we didn't have the right backup. We didn't have the right people in the right places. Now, before uh, the Black Panthers even got on the map, they missed one opportunity, and that was to infiltrate all these organizations. They should have had people in the Republican Party, Democratic Party, the police department, the FBI, the CIA, even in the medical field. They should have had their people already situated in these organizations. And they should have been promoting people that are intelligent and know tactical precision and discipline and know how to take the offensive. We didn't have a tactical disposition. We was out here in open. We was on the battlefield really actually with no weapons. And these poor people were killed, spending all these years in jail. for a idea that was bound to fail. Now, see, the reason why they was able to kill Fred Hampton was they had infiltrated their organization. They had a spy. They was uh they was dealing with people that didn't really able to make the right decisions. They did things that was totally opposite of what you would do if you know they're trying to kill you. You know that they hating you, and you know the climate that was in the 60s. They should have never, ever, ever knew where Fred Hampton was. Fred Hampton should have never been in one place more than 2 hours at a time. If that's no more than 2 to 4 hours at a time. And he there shouldn't have been no new people around him. But I want to get back to this. They shouldn't have never knew who Fred Hampton was until it was time for it was time. See, he was the mastermind. See, our masterminds need to be in the bunker. They need to be back there where they are protected. And see, we don't look at it like that. You are the mastermind, and you're the one supposed to be out there giving orders. Isn't that what they do in war? The generals and the captains and all them, they in the back. They in the bunker. They back there in the Pentagon making all these orders and plans and sending people out on the front line. And that's what Fred should have been doing. They shouldn't even knew nothing about Fred. Fred should have been still alive and raised his son. They even got rid of all the masterminds. If it's any masterminds out there, get your butt back in the bunker and send out the orders. You have to put people in place that is going to be able to tell you. See, they should have had somebody in the police department, FBI, and all them to tell them what's going on. Just like they had people in their organization. We supposed to have people in their organizations. Hey, if you're going to fight, fight right. Don't fight for fame, because fame can get you fame in the wrong place. You could be, no. So, but, you always hearing about war. There's war on drugs, war on crime. And you hear about it, the more they talk about, the worse it get. And why is that? We're going to discuss that on the next segment. All right. Be cool and stay strong. Another thing that keeps us down is we're not raising our kids to be warriors. We're not raising our kids to be the soldiers in this fight for equality. We want to put it in the hands of the white folks to bring us freedom, hope, equality, justice. Really? How is that working out? I just sometimes I wish I never had YouTube, but it keeps you informed, but it also keeps you depressed. I just read on this YouTube channel that, not read, but I just seen that this woman, 8-month-old daughter, was killed by overdose of fentanyl. Now you just wonder, what's next? I mean, you think you done heard it all, but they come up with something new. Now, how in the world 8-month-old gonna get a hold of some fentanyl? They gonna try to say it was an accident. She left her child with a babysitter. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Surrounded by ignorant people will get you killed. Um, she want her face to be seen, and of course she was talking to a white person on a white news channel all the time. All the time. I don't know. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I never been in that position, and I hope I never have to. I'll be right back. Oh. Now, see, it's a chain reaction because this parent gonna be irresponsible and left. And I'm talking from experience. I didn't have to leave my kids with people I didn't want to, but I didn't have no choice. I had nobody else. Everybody I knew was effed up. Okay, uh, but you know you have to leave your child with somebody sometime. We don't know why she left the child, but she left the child with somebody. And the way she was talking, she was awful calm. So evidently, she knew this person. Cause she was too calm. She was too calm. Her child, 8-month-old, they don't know how the baby could have got a hold of some fentanyl. 8 months old. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. We're not raising our kids. If we don't start now, 50 years from now, my kids are going to be still singing "We Shall Overcome." Still going to be marching with Black Lives Matter signs. Still going to be getting shot and killed by the police or dying off with some fentanyl. If we don't start now raising our kids to be warriors, soldiers in the fight for our own justice. We need to stop. We need to get away from these people. We need to get as far away from these people as we can. And these people don't care. They don't care about themselves. They don't care about other people. All they care about is things. And we take on that same persona. All we care about is things. I grew up in a family that all they cared about was things. I mean, it's all right to care about having a nice home and nice clothes and shoes and cars and all that stuff. But we have to realize that once you have kids, all that goes in the background. You are raising the future. You are raising the ones that's coming after you. In the same way with them. We all have a responsibility to guide our young ones into a better world. Because we coming from a disaster. We're coming out of a disaster. And every year should be getting better, but it's not. Because we're not teaching our kids to make it better. Where do you think all these young kids come from that's doing all this killing and stealing? From us. They was raised by us. You better think about it. You better do something about it. I don't care if you don't have any kids. Once you come out that womb, you are a you are meant to be a guardian of the future. No matter if it's your child or my child, you still supposed to be a prime example of what this world and this life was meant to be. And we sit up here letting our kids be guided by these people that don't care about nothing but themselves and their things. And people are so stupid. And they sit up there and let them do it. I know you gotta send your kids to school. It's a law. You gotta send them to school. It's amazing how it's a law now. When back 100 years ago, your kids weren't allowed to go to school. And in some places in the world, that is still a law. Certain genders can't go to school. So it just shows you that school is really not that important. What's important, really, is how you conduct yourself and how you treat others. How much schooling you got does not make the world go round. And something else. Well, I know religion is a big part of a lot of people's lives. It was a big part of my mother's life, I guess. She was a usher. She was an usher boy for 40 years. But it's amazing. She never talked to us about the Bible. I remember I asked her one time, I said, well, why you never gave us a Bible? Because we have one Bible in the house. And it was hers. And every now and then she would leave it in the bathroom and I would look in it. But she never gave us a Bible. She never talked to us about the Bible. And I asked her one time, why you never gave us a Bible? And you know what her answer was? You didn't like church anyway. See, that's why I never really asked my mother nothing. Because she always had these answers that just piss you off. You know, she was the kind of person that she would give you an answer that you do not want to follow up with a question with. You didn't know. No, she cuts you right off. She cuts you. She cuts you. You know, I had the kind of people that if you say anything that makes them feel uncomfortable, they will prance on you like a tiger. But we're not talking about religion in the right way. That's the way I would like to talk about it. It's something that's true. Why are black people so hated, so despised, so and we're not the only ones now. See, a lot of people want to make that mistake. We're not the only one. Uh, hate is virtual. It's everywhere. You have the Chinese hate the Japanese. I mean, you have Russian hate the Germans. You know, I mean, and the bad part about it is, why are you hating? Why did you hate me? I've never done nothing to you. You hate me because I was born a German, which I had nothing to do with. You hate me because I'm black, because I had nothing to do with being born black. And uh, you had nothing to do with you being born who you are. You hate me because your forefathers, fathers killed my forefathers, father. Oh, okay. Well, what they got to do with me? Um, I hate you because uh, World War II, World War I, the Civil War. Your grandparents probably enslaved my grandparents. Okay. But what that got to do with me? You know, I hate you because your family is still rich and mine is still poor. So hate is virtue. Hate, okay. Hate's gonna hate. Um, and hate pays well. It does. It pays well. You'll hate for people. Oh, you can get $1 million contract to come up with some weapons to kill your enemy that you hate. Now, if you love your enemy, how you gonna make some money? You could by making things to make things better. But, mm, but see, the problem with melanated people is we are still living with an antebellum mind. Once we get out of that antebellum and got through the Civil War and got that signature on that Emancipation Proclamation paper and all that, we did not go back to our roots. We did not sever ties with our oppressors. We and it's messed us up mentally. You look at us. I look at us all the time. I'm like, when I see when I see us the old back in the day pictures, I'm like, And the clothes that we wore, we looked at so, so off. Them is not our clothes. And eating their food, going to their uh, putting on ties, suits and ties. That that was not us. Now you take an African in their African garb, and you take a black man in their suit and ties and stuff, and apples and oranges do not mix. Uh, and it's gotten to the point where we couldn't even wear our afro, our natural hair, and there's no, I'm not gonna say natural hair because whether it's on your head is uh, hair in its natural form, and a lot of people want to make a big issue out of that, but you got a lot of black people that have straight hair, good hair, long hair. So it ain't got to be naturally afro, but some choose to wear afro. And it was hard to get a job because you wore afro or cornrows or African garb. It says African garb because we're over here. Um, and it's really nowhere to really, because if you go somewhere wearing African garb and all that, they're gonna assume that you're African. They're gonna assume that you are going to an event, a costume, or it must be Black History Month, because that's basically when you see a lot of people going dressing up in African garb. It's not too many places that you can go, and you're not the only one there with African garb on. So, and then you see all these award shows and stuff on TV. You don't see no black people with African garb clothes on. Beautiful gowns. You don't see that over here because that would not be accepted by the mainstream uh, people, white people. That's what the mainstream is. The ones that really the ones that are um, paying for all this. Uh, but that's what we're doing. That's why we're still living in antebellum. It's before a war. That's what antebellum is. But this was specifically talking about the American Civil War. Before a war in this country, African Americans were in a depressed and oppressed state. Not all. I keep trying to emphasize that not all were, but African Americans or Black people, we have a tendency to be clumped into a category. We was in shackles, illiterate to the English word and ways. Even though we fought in their wars, it was futile. We still have that mindset, though we are at war, and we at war for our life. Since 1609, Africans have been looked upon as persons of war, never belonging, only existing by the grace of the Europeans. Really, as labor, entertainment, and sports. There is a constant genocide that goes on, not just to the melanated people, but anyone they deem as undesirable. Before the peasants, slaves rise up, but they have suffered tremendously, but to no avail due to the same people that are in power, the same constitution laws, and their same bureaucracy. They are the professionals of red tape, protocol, etiquette. They are not voted in that rule and carry a lot of the weight in our daily life. All this came after the Civil War. With the westward expansion and cotton being king, slavery went where the cotton was, and the West new territory began to rethink slavery. Now, and you look at the people that's in the West, you have some, not that many. The South wanted to rule the nation. The North wasn't having that. Not that there were more morality in the North. Slavery, if it had moved westward, it would soon be nationwide. With so-called the Emancipation Proclamation became effective January 1st, 1863. And Haiti won their independence January 1st, 1804. Still being treated with revenge for that. Isn't that something? Haiti is still being punished for what they did. And it even has nothing to do with America. But the Americans are connected to the people that hate Haiti. And to keep their alliance going strong, they have to hate Haiti too. See, that's what alliance is. They hate my enemies. My enemies hate my enemies. All that. My, alliance hate my enemy. See, even Lincoln didn't make slavery a moral issue, but more the idea people can have free labor. Free whites couldn't compete to free labor. The Civil War began in 1861 to maintain free labor. And I'm telling you, and I thought about this one time, just out the blue. I said, all of us that is working and we get a check. What if we didn't get a check? You see how much money these people would be saving? How much money these people would be putting in their pocket? Just think of all the people that didn't get paid at Walmart. How much money they would be making. They would be able to invest in other things. To go out into the world, they could invest in bigger boats. More people to go out and conquer more worlds, to bring more despair. Yes, that's how much money they was making. That little 400 a week I was getting would have been going in their pocket. And I probably would have been living off of $50 of that. To buy food and yeah. Civil War began in 1861 to maintain free labor. preserve preserve the Union. Abolition of slavery was secondary outcome, which he tried to avoid, even though slavery couldn't last forever. And a matter of fact, after Emancipation Proclamation, slavery were preserved in states that was loyal to the Union. In April 1865, Confederate General Robert Lee surrendered his army, ending the war. This what he said: "No malice toward none, and clarity for all. But a bullet changed the direction of Reconstruction for the nation and the Negro." New freedom, education, family unions, full citizenship made us happy and some whites angry. Subsequently, the dam burst, and between 1880 and 1920, Jim Crow laws and mass participation in many evil entities such as KKK to terrorize anyone who loved the rule of law and humanity. Our churches was cornerstone for organizing solitudes and education, support, refuge, and launched many political careers and ideas and platforms. Now, the churches mostly are get rich schemes, immorality hates. The average person doesn't believe in the church and the Bible. In the 1960s, the legal equality, social and economic advances were shallow and 100 years too late. With strong leadership between 1960 and the 1980s gave rise to prosperity, hope. But in the lurking, a plan was being constructed to put an end to it for good and to take us back to servitude was launched with the first killing the strong leaders in broad daylight. And see, that's what they do. They kill them in broad daylight. That is a signal to everyone that we will kill you no matter where you are. And to stand back and let us do as we please. And and that's exactly what happened. A void left was deep and wide. The men and women who put faith, trust, wasn't equipped for the turmoil to come. Why was it when they killed him, it wasn't nobody else to sprout up right up after him? No. We wasn't prepared for the war on our youth to make sure another Martin Luther King Jr. or another Malcolm X arose again. The family structure was weakened to the point of collapse, dismantled, and disfigured to the point of unrecognizable. Now the ones who kept thriving and strong hid behind their luxuries, and some tried to stand up for the rest, but the rest was too far gone. They just gave up, and they put up a smokescreen of imaginary imagery of trying to stand up, but really they just wanted prestige and fame. Okay, I got more to come, but I'm telling you, it's time. It's time. The future is here, and we better recognize it.